it seems like all three of you candidates are appealing to different poll numbers. Dayton believes that he's way ahead. Emmer believes it's a tight race. What do you think?
I think that it's a tight race. I think that it's still anybody's to win, anybody's to lose. I think this is a year in which so many Minnesotans are still trying to figure out where they're at and where the candidates are at. And a lot of those decisions are still going to be made over the next 2 weeks. And in fact, I think a lot of the decisions will wait until people walk into the polling booth on November 2nd.
Yeah. Has Tom Emmer peaked, or could he fluctuate with respect to Dayton?
Well, I think we're all going to fluctuate a bit. I mean, I believe that Tom Emmer is going to hit a ceiling of about 30%. And there's my opportunity, because I just think there are so many Minnesotans who this year are voting out of fear instead of voting for the future. I need to convince Minnesota that this is a year in which they ought to vote for the future. The only way we're going to get past the gridlock, the only way we're going to do things that really invest in the future of Minnesota is if we elect a governor who can move the state to the future.
Mm-hmm. When I believe it was 13 former Republican legislators came out in your favor a few weeks ago, there was a big backlash. They were called quislings. Is this an example of kind of the rift within the Republican Party that we're seeing nationwide with respect to Republican moderates and Tea Partiers?
Well, when you look at the Republican Party in Minnesota since 2000, it really has in a lot of ways been a party in decline. It's lost 3 out of 4 United States Senate races. Mm-hmm. It's lost a congressional seat. It's underperformed in almost every legislative election cycle. The only thing masking all of that has been Governor Pawlenty's 2 elections, one of which in 2006 was very close, and some would argue that Mike Hatch lost it more than Tim Pawlenty won it. So I think the party is in decline, and part of why it's in decline is that the party, as it defines itself, has moved so far to the right and has become not just conservative, but really anti-government, anti-solution. I think that's what people are rejecting. So for me, I've always been a Dave Durenberger, Arnie Carlson type of public policy person, where I do believe in fiscal conservatism, but I think government has to play a role, and we have to be smart enough to figure out how to make that role work.
When did you feel like you were outside of what's now the Republican Party? And was it because of things that were happening in Minnesota or nationwide?
Oh, both. I've kind of felt that way for the last several years. What really pushed me over the edge and caused me to make the decision to look more closely at the Independence Party is when John McCain in 2008, a person I greatly admired, respected very much, especially when he ran in 2000, when he decided to name Sarah Palin as his running mate. I just thought that was unacceptable. Mm-hmm. That was a strong message that the Republican Party is much more interested in winning than it is in good governments and solutions in moving the country and the state forward.
What's the key for you with only less than 3 weeks left before the election?
Well, a couple of things. One is that I need to keep getting my message out. I need to convince Minnesotans that if they stake their future on one politician who says we'll just cut everything, or another politician who says we'll tax 4% of the population and give everybody else a free ride, that really is a stake in failed policies. That's a stake in the same kind of gridlock that we've had, and we're not going to move forward. Secondly, I need people to hear my message, and so I'm going to continue to work long hours and get the message around. The fundraising is going well, but I need to keep it at a high level. If I do those couple of things, then I believe we'll get down to the last day, and it'll be a competitive 3-way race.
President Obama is going to be here next weekend. Emmer has had quite a few big names come for him. I saw that Mitt Romney is coming on Monday. Do you need, or how important is it to have any big names nationwide or national politicians come here to support you?
Well, I think certainly a Barack Obama and a Mitt Romney, a Newt Gingrich, certainly add to some short-term buzz with the president. It's a big event, and certainly no denying that. But I think in the end, Minnesotans are going to make their decision on the basis of what's right for Minnesota. And so when I have a Dave Durenberger and an Arnie Carlson, a Tim Penny saying that I'm the best candidate, when I have respected former legislators, in the last couple of weeks we'll have some recognized Democrats come out on my behalf. I think in the end, that's what's going to matter to Minnesotans.
Yeah. One more question, if I may. Anti-bullying legislation was introduced earlier this week by a couple of DFL reps who might try to tie it to, the flood relief legislation, the flood relief special session that's going to happen next Monday. Where do you stand on anti-bullying legislation in public schools?
Well, I've supported the anti-bullying legislation. I think that we do need to create environments that are safe, that are secure for all people. But I think we need to go beyond that. And we need to have a culture that says equality is important and a governor who's willing to stand up for equality. So I think it starts with marriage equality and equality in all avenues. If we can change the culture at that level, then I think we can change it at other levels.
I mean, most Republicans and former Republicans would be against that because they believe it's a government infringing too much on perhaps the role of what parents should be saying.
It's probably why I'm running as an Independence Party candidate.
Thank you so much.